Picture this, you're a warrior. You're a gladiator in the arena of life, and you need the fuel to dominate every battlefield. That is where Jocko Fuel steps in. First up, Jocko Go, designed to unlock endless energy and focus, keeping you at peak performance. Then, Jocko Bulk Protein. Build muscle like a champion. It is packed with top-grade protein. Next, Jocko Greens, nature's weapon for vitality and peak performance. And of course, Jocko Hydrate. Hydration done right with electrolytes for the fight. Don't forget, Jocko Joint Warfare. Say goodbye to stiffness and discomfort. And here's the kicker. All products are Jocko tested, scientifically formulated and clean. No banned substances, just pure power. So warriors, level up with Jocko Fuel and unleash the beast within. It is more than just supplements. It's a way of life. Is Conor McGregor going to fight for a title again? Like, is that what this is? Is this match Conor McGregor versus Chael? I've been struggling to know what this is about. And it must be about something. Why are you two guys fighting? Right? And I always encourage you this. Anything that works on the playground works in the octagon. Anything that failed on the playground, do not bring it to the octagon. They are absolute microcosms. And if two kids are planning to meet up on lunch break, that's going to get around the school so fast. And every single person, including when it finally gets to the teacher that's going to go in there and make sure it gets stopped, everybody, including the teacher, will ask the same question. Why? If a fight happens and the other kids see it, they're all going to ask the same as the teacher who broke it up and stuck you in the chair outside the principal's office, the same as the principal himself. The first things out of his mouth are going to be, why? When your parents come to pick you up from school because you've been suspended for the day for fighting on the lunch break, your parents are not the second thing, not the eighth or ninth thing, not somewhere, the first thing. I say, why are you fighting? And I only tell you that because the rules of the playground carry over 100%. And the one thing that Conor versus Chandler is missing is why. And with that said, and there is no other example in history that you could give, you can bring boxing into it, where any record has been set, and I do mean any. I don't give a goddamn if you're counting how many cups of beer were poured or how many bags of popcorn got popped. You'll have no live grade, no attendance, no transistor radio, no closed captioning, no pay-per-view, no t-shirt merchandise. You will have no record of any kind anywhere in history if you cannot answer why are they fighting. And guess what? These guys already got it. They have a $20+ million gate waiting for them already. Doesn't become official till the doors open. It's already in the box office. They already have a record. Breaking the rule being you must satisfy for the audience and answer to the question, why are you fighting? And it is a massive missing piece to the story. I can only think, like, as big as this fight's turning out to be, that live gate is such a wonderful microcosm. It's an incredible thing. Then, what would happen if we answered the question? What would happen? How big would it get if we found a reason as to why they're fighting? And what if that reason is that Conor is on a comeback towards a world championship? Would you buy it? The story doesn't work if you don't buy it. It's got to be sold. The audience, this is a retail business. Would you buy that? Because I can give you a scenario right now where he walks in. Don't forget, guys, it's already been stated. This is not an opinion or a debate. It has been stated by Dana White that yes, Conor McGregor could walk in, never have to do Chandler, walk into a title fight now. And when that question was posed to him, there was 2 weight classes that were open. 55 with Islam or 70 opposite Leon. And guess what? Dana said either one. Yeah, Dana said yes to the question. That Conor right now, I don't know what Conor's record is. I just know his last fight, it was Poirier, but it was an injury. I'm just sharing for you that he could walk into a title fight in 2 different weight classes. We don't have competitive guys that won their last fight that can walk into a title fight at 2 different weight classes. Really remarkable thing. And the reason I tell you that isn't so you can get mad and go, oh, that's favoritism. I'm not doing that. I'm letting you know the way that it is. So now, if Conor was to beat Chandler, we don't even have to have this discussion. We don't have to have it now. It might upset you guys if Conor was to walk right into a title shot. But once he beats Chandler, that's what I'm speaking to, the what if. But once that moment comes, now not only do you know it could be true, now you're not even mad about it. So, I could give you a very clear path for Conor to fight for a belt. Very clear. It just has to do with Islam dropping the strap to Dustin. If Islam loses to Dustin, oh, by the way the calendars light up, Conor gets the jump on Chandler. That's two big what ifs. I understand. I'm just suggesting for you. Like, Conor can fight for the belt right now. So if Islam wins, it doesn't disqualify Conor. Conor beats Chandler. Conor could go right in against Islam at 55 or at 70. We already know that. That's not a debate. What I'm sharing is it's one of those things, but I wouldn't predict that it would happen. It would be very unlikely. It could, but it would be very unlikely. Well, it actually is more likely than not to happen if Poirier wins. Poirier gets over on Islam, and you're confronted with one of three ideas. We bring in Arman. Now, to bring in Arman in that scenario is your least likely. You would far more likely rematch Islam, or you would bring in Conor if he got the best of Chandler. Arman, our number one contender, who's sitting and waiting in the wings, is still in the final three, but of those three, he would be the most likely. Like if I was just to ask you, well, what do you think is going to happen? You don't think that Dustin's going to go out to Vegas, he's going to sit front row, he's going to call for Conor? Conor, by the way, is going to look at Dustin? So I wasn't planning to come back down to 55, but now I am. I mean, it's just one of those spots where is that what this is about? Is Conor McGregor coming back? Is this about a championship? Can Dustin Poirier get over on Islam? I know what the odds makers say, but you guys do agree with me. You would have to be a fool to overlook Dustin. I mean, you could be pretty sure, you could be pretty confident. You could tell all your buddies. But if you had to walk up to the window, you had to walk up to the pay window. With this week's paycheck, man, you got all your money right here in your pocket. All of it. You just told everybody you're positive Islam beats them, so when you go to the pay window, did you bet all your money? Why wouldn't you want to double your money? Did you bet a good portion of your money? Bet 30% of that money? Why wouldn't you? If you're so sure, it would seem like you would bet the most you can. But that's where we're confronted with the real reality that we cannot discount Dustin. We're confronted with the reality that Dustin will knock out anybody at any time. Islam's only lost one fight ever. It was by knockout. And that's where you're just confronted with things where you go, wow, there is some what ifs on this, aren't there? And now you got a pissed off Dustin Poirier. And so many people so oftentimes will want to talk about going into a fight who wants it more. And you determine who wants it more once you establish who needs it more. And that's always a tricky one, isn't it? But we would imagine that would go with Dustin because he's not getting this opportunity again. This is his last world title fight, unless he's the one bringing the title. So in that regard, we do have to look at Dustin. And you're confronted with one more thing, which is, does Islam think he's in an easy fight? Does Islam think Dustin doesn't belong? Does Islam think, well, Dustin lost his last 4 rounds? And don't forget that Dustin won his last fight, but he lost his last 4 rounds. It's a little bit of a riddle. The people that were fainting concern for Tony Ferguson, he had lost 5 fights in a row, but he had lost his last 18 rounds. It was much more concerning. I only bring Tony into this because you've got a number one contender who didn't win the last round that was turned in. In fact, he didn't win the one before that. In fact, he didn't win the one before that. I mean, do you see where the sport starts to get interesting? But before you say, oh, well, then Dustin doesn't belong in it. No, because that's not the way this game is played. You got 25 minutes, and we will go to a judge's decision if we need to, but within those 25 minutes, you stop this guy at any point, we're all done here, and you win. It's an incredibly difficult guy to deal with, a guy that will do that and adhere to it. Most guys start to fall apart. They do the math. It's called taking inventory. You lose the first round, you're in your car, okay, I got 2 rounds left. You're doing the math in your head. You're thinking about it, it becomes too much, and you flick it. Start writing it out. Start just trying to get out of there in one piece. I mean, this is a very normal thing. When you're dealing with a guy who doesn't give a damn what just happened. If he's beating you by 100 points or you're beating him by 100 points, he's coming at you full steam, Alex Pereira style. It's a lot to deal with, and that's what Dustin is. And that's why you're not betting your whole paycheck. And you're not positive that Islam's going to beat him. You know he can beat him in positions. You know he can control him. You know he can, speaking about Islam, gain favor with the judges. And you know he can do it twice or even a third time, but that's not the way this game is played. Can he do what you're saying he can do 5 times in a row? That's how this game is played. And once you realize how live Dustin is, that's where you start to see that a Dustin era and a Conor victory all of a sudden start finding one another, and Conor's opportunity for a world championship just got a whole lot brighter.